Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, well then welcome to my channel. I hope you will stick around. I kind of go in a lot of different directions sometimes, so surely there will be something here that will spark your interest. So hopefully you will subscribe and we can get to know each other. So today's video is going to be about some of the measures that I take in order to kind of, either delay, improve, or at the very least kind of disguise, the aging process. And I guess it's basically going to be my definition or my idea of like anti-aging. And for me, anti-aging in a nutshell is just basically being, the best version of yourself that you can be. That's what I try to do anyways. That's my goal. By no means am I implying or do I think that I look like I'm in my 20s, 30s. I'm very, very well aware that I do not. And, I think that there are just really some very distinct kind of telltale signs of a mature woman, someone over the age of 40, one of them being our hands, my hands especially. I probably have the worst hands of anybody I know. Very veiny, I don't have a lot of body fat, and I've got these wonderful knuckles that are just, you know what, I've got my grandma's hands. I have my grandma and my dad's hands, so there's something sweet about that, but I'd rather have, pretty, really feminine hands, but I don't, so I have no control over that. So anyways, another one is neck and chest. I feel like as we get older, especially after age 35, you can really tell a woman's age by the condition of her chest and neck. I'm 44 years old. I did a lot of sun worshiping whenever I was younger, and I think that it really started to show itself and, reveal the damage that I'd done probably in my late 30s. So unfortunately, I was already taking care of my face for a while. I kind of neglected my neck and my chest, and so now I'm trying to address those. So anyways, another one is unfortunately our legs. Over the age of 40, our legs start to kind of look like little road maps, We start having these broken varicose veins and just broken capillaries and stuff like that. And so some things are just not in our control, obviously. But the ones that are, I try to take as much control over them as I can. So I'm just going to kind of tell you about those. Now, I do get a lot of questions, especially on my skincare videos. A lot of people want to know, do you get Botox regularly? Have you ever had fillers? Do you get chemical peels? What kind of like in-house kind of medi-spa, dermatologist, office things do you get done? And I completely understand that. I wonder that myself sometimes when I'm watching other women and they're talking about skincare. I'm thinking, so, can I attribute the results to the skincare, or is it, procedures that you've had done? So that's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you everything that I've had done. I'm going to go ahead and start with the ones that I think have made the most improvement, and then I'm going to just go backwards from there. So some things I do periodically, some things I do daily, and so I'm just going to tell you about that. Now, I do understand that a lot of people draw a line in the sand when it comes to what they will and won't do, in the name of vanity, I guess, or anti-aging. And so I don't really have those lines, I will never say never to anything. So anyways, everything's kind of a personal choice, but I'm just gonna totally be honest, tell you everything that I've done, and then we'll just say goodbye. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so the first thing that I've done that I think has made the most dramatic improvement in my appearance is I got fillers under my eyes. I had puffiness and bags under my eyes and some kind of grooves, maybe a little bit of hollowness, but I definitely had those grooves and then the little puffiness up above it. And it was just such a source of distress for me. I actually have a video about that, and I show kind of the before and then the after, mainly the healing process afterwards. I just didn't like the way that it looked. Every time I would look in the mirror, even after a wonderful night's sleep, I would look in the mirror and I would just look so tired, or I'd look sad or angry, or, just not refreshed at all. And I just did not like the way that it made me feel. It just really started to strip my confidence, and so I just decided that I wanted to fix it. So about 2 years ago, whenever I was 42 years old, I got my first set of Restylane Injections. It was March of 2016, and they used a syringe and a half. However, I don't think I needed that much. I think I was a little bit overfilled, and I wasn't crazy about that. But anyways, it was a syringe and a half. It cost me $1,000. That's definitely not cheap, but it was money well spent, I think. A year later, March of this year, 2016, I got a touch-up, and they only used a half syringe, and it was only $375. And they just got it right in here, and from this point forward, it'll just kind of be maintenance. I don't ever want to see my under eye puffiness again. Like I said, I just don't like the way that it made me look or feel. It didn't reflect the way that I felt. And so I definitely am going to always get that until it's no longer working, and then I'll probably get surgery to remove the under eye bags, because it's just not something that I ever want to see on myself again. So that is the number one thing that I have done that I think has made the most improvement. So let's go ahead and go to number 2. Okay, so number 2 is going to be Botox. Now, I get asked that a lot, if I get Botox, and the answer is yes and no. I go back and forth with Botox. The very first time that I ever got Botox was how long ago was it? I was 37 at the time, and I got my forehead, my crow's feet, and then right here in between my eyebrows. And, you know, I was easily talked into it. Of course, they make you feel so insecure, like you need it all. So anyways, I got it all done. And I just hated the forehead. I will never ever get my forehead done again. It ended up, I have pretty arched eyebrows, and I use my eyebrows a lot to, I don't know, just, I have a very expressionful face, and I joke a lot, and I use my eyebrows a lot to joke, but it really flattened them completely, and it made my already hooded eyes so much more hooded. I literally looked like Frankenstein, and it was just terrible. I could not wait for it to wear off. So needless to say, I never ever got my forehead done again. You know, so I definitely have little lines that are definitely etched in there, and they are not going anywhere. Sometimes I feel like I make improvement, like especially after I've had like a Retin-A peel. I feel like I see improvement, and then the skin grows back, and then, you know, I see them again, there they are. But I don't think they're too bad. You know, I try to stay on top of them with my Retin-A and glycolic acid and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to crow's feet. Now, I have not done my crow's feet in over 3 years. The last time that I had my crow's feet done with Botox was before I started my channel. It was probably about 6 months before I had started my channel. And I know for without a doubt, I've never gotten Botox in my crow's feet since I've had my under eye filler, just because I've seen somebody that had the filler and the Botox also on the crow's feet, and I felt like it looked funny whenever they would smile really hard. And so because of that, I just never wanted to do it. Not just that, I don't mind crow's feet. I think there's something really endearing and sweet about the look of crow's feet. Like, I can actually smile without smiling at all. Like, I can smile with my eyes, you know, without smiling with my mouth. I can even talk, and it looks like, you know, I'm smiling. Well, I do. I think I smile all the time. But anyway, I don't mind the crow's feet, and I guess it's because it kind of indicates that you've smiled a lot, you know, and that you've had a good, happy life. It's not like these lines or under eye puffiness that makes you look tired or mad or something like that, you know? So I go back and forth with Botox on my crow's feet. I may do it in the future. I may not. I haven't done it in 3 years. I'm not in any hurry to do it. I'm not crazy about the lines that come down this way, that want to come down this way. I see them when I really haven't drank a lot of water and stuff like that. So I don't know. I go back and forth with that. So here, I do get it done, mainly out of laziness. I get it done about once a year. The last time I had Botox right there was right before the summer of this year. And I remember what video I made. Anyways, you know, I was not happy with it. He fanned it out a little bit, so I felt like anytime I'd raise my eyebrows, the ends of my eyebrows would go up. But anyways, it's just, I feel like I never, sometimes I like the results, sometimes I don't. I just want to keep it real center. I just don't want to be able to move this. I want to be able to move everything else, because like I said, I make a lot of expressions and I joke a lot, and a lot of times when I joke, I do something with my eyebrows that I can't do whenever I have Botox there, and then it looks funny. It's like, you know, obviously something's stopping me from making certain expressions. But so anyways, I go back and forth with Botox. You know, I could take or leave it. I do like getting it here. You know, like I said, I do it about once a year right there, but I haven't done it in about 8 months. So that's how often I do Botox. So number 3, the third way that I try to, you know, stay the best version of myself is by having a good skincare routine. When I think of a good skincare routine, I think of having a good and gentle cleanser. I think of exfoliating at least, you know, once a week, whether it be a chemical exfoliation or a physical exfoliation. And I just try to include as many ingredients as I can that have some sort of research or data behind them showing that they can somehow improve the appearance of your skin. Basically, I just try to include a lot of ingredients that are supposed to kind of mimic your body or your skin's natural rejuvenating process. And that's gonna include, you know, your Retin-A's and your glycolic acid and all the other ingredients that you hear about in the skincare world, niacinamides, ceramides, antioxidants, you know, I know I'm gonna leave out some. And then of course you always want to invest in a really good moisturizer. And when I say invest, I don't mean like spend a lot of money. I mean just find one that works really well for you, that doesn't clog your pores, doesn't break you out, but really helps to lock in just all of those beneficial skincare ingredients so that you can sleep with those, you know, on your skin overnight, and that there's no water loss, that there's no environmental factors that are affecting, you know, your skin while you sleep. So a good moisturizer, and then of course a good sunscreen. You're gonna be doing yourself a disservice if you're spending a lot of money on skincare and then not taking preventative measures like protecting your skin, you know, with a good sunscreen. So sunscreen is obviously probably one of the most important things that you can put on your skin. So number four is I try to maintain a healthy body weight. I remember reading one time that after your teenage years, every decade after that, you know, for men and women both, every decade, men and women tend to put on anywhere between 5 and 10 pounds and then get comfortable with that weight and keep it on year after year and just add, you know, 5 to 10 pounds every decade. And, you know, when you think of that, by the time you're 60, you will have either put on 20 pounds or 40 pounds, and that's just something you automatically become comfortable with. I am very uncomfortable if I put on just a few pounds. It makes me feel very uncomfortable in my skin. I have a very specific way that I want to look, and fortunately I have taught myself to eat very healthy, and I actually crave really, really healthy foods because I've just eaten a certain way pretty much my entire life. I remember I read that actually whenever I was in, it was, what class? It was like a food and nutrition class in college. It was like one of my first years in college. And I remember thinking, okay, so I don't want to put on, you know, 5 to 10 pounds every decade, so I need to learn how to eat right. And that's what I did. So maintaining a healthy weight for me is just one way of being the best version of myself, you know? So that is number 4. Okay, so number 5 kind of goes along with number 4, and that is to exercise and remain flexible. To me, that is super, super important. I don't ever want to get old and stiff and become immobile. That's a big fear of mine. I don't know why, but it just really is. So I always take every opportunity that I can to try to get in exercise no matter what I'm doing. Especially, you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I spend a lot of time here at this house, and I might just be putting up laundry, you know, and so if I'm going to be going from the living room to my son's room and to my room and to my daughter's room, I'm going to be making sure that I get some sort of exercise out of that. And one of the ways that I do it is I just make it a point that with every step, I make it a point to really tighten and contract my butt cheeks, basically. You know, I don't really know any other way to put it, but that is what I do. So with every step, I really, really contract. And that is just one simple way to try to keep, you know, your rear end kind of toned, you know. Also, if I have something in the microwave and it needs to be in there for a minute and I'm just gonna stand there and wait for it, I'm gonna sit in a squat position. I will squat and stay there as low as I can, for the entire 60 seconds. And that just, you know, just little simple things. If I'm waiting for the microwave to go off, I might do some calf raises, you know, at my counter in the kitchen. So I'm always trying to figure out ways to just kind of work in any type of exercise, you know, even something that simple. Also, just stretching, you know, get on the floor. Just get on the floor every once in a while, whether you're watching TV, whatever you're doing. If you're gonna be sedentary and if you're gonna be sitting somewhere watching a program, you might as well be stretching, you know, while you're doing that. And so that's another thing that I do. Also, I keep some 10-pound weights in my bathroom all the time. And anytime I'm there in the bathroom, you know, if I have 2 minutes to spare, I'm gonna do some curls, you know, might as well, you know, because I've noticed that it's harder for me to keep muscle tone as I get older. So I keep my exercise really, really simple, clearly. I have a messed up knee. I just had surgery on it last year, and I'm very limited in the things that I can do in order to work out my legs. So anything that I can do around this house that doesn't require me to, you know, it doesn't even require a lot out of me, but I somehow manage to keep things you know, semi-toned. So that brings me to number 6, and number 6 is take vitamins. I take vitamins pretty regularly every day. I take a multivitamin for women. I take hair, skin, and nail pills. They're not pills, they're actually pink gummies. They're really, really good. I take vitamin C, I take vitamin D, and then I take calcium. And so that's it. Those are all the vitamins that I take. But I think it's really important, especially as we age. You know, a lot of things a lot of levels in our bodies seem to drop, and our bodies just stop functioning like they once did. And so anyways, I just always want to make sure that I have an adequate amount of vitamins. You know, I try to eat a good variety, but I think it's always wise to supplement as well. The next thing I do, and I think this is really, really important, and I think sometimes it's overlooked, is I try to keep my teeth white. I have made a video about whitening your teeth before because I think that, you know, yellow teeth can really age somebody, and it's something just as simple as going to the grocery store, picking up, you know, some strips or some whatever your whitening, you know, product of choice is, and just making that a habit so that you can keep a nice white pearly smile. The 8th thing that I do in order to try to be the best version of myself is I try to keep my hair looking as healthy as I can. You know, I have naturally very coarse, kind of curly hair, so it's always going to have a certain texture. There's certain, you know, I'm never going to have that beautiful Pantene hair that just dries beautifully naturally, you know what I mean? So you know, it's kind of an effort, but I do take hair, skin, and nail pills, and then I try to use a really good shampoo, good conditioner, and I try to keep my hair trimmed. Right now I've actually gone a little bit overboard and I cut my hair a little bit too short, but you know, I had a recent hair shedding episode, and it left me with very, very thin, see-through ends, and I just feel like that can totally age somebody. You know, whenever my hair, personally, if I keep it pretty short, like here and up, it can look really thick and full and look healthy. Once it starts growing longer, especially if I'm growing out my layers and stuff like that, oh my gosh, it just starts getting really stringy towards the ends. And I just think that that can, you know, age somebody. I don't like the way that it looks on me. And so for me to feel like I'm being the best version of myself, I try to keep it trimmed just so it looks like it's healthier and thicker, you know? Okay, so number 9 kind of goes along with number 7 for me, and number 7 was whiten your teeth. I always try to keep a good sense of humor. I feel like whenever I see somebody who smiles a lot and seems to really enjoy life and seems to find humor in things, to me they automatically seem younger and more youthful. That's just me, you know, that's just a personal thing. So for me, you know, as far as being the best version of myself, I really don't even feel like I have to try. It's just something that just comes naturally. But I feel like, you know, you often hear phrases of people saying, you know, when people get old, they get old and bitter and angry. And I don't want that to happen to me. You know, I don't ever want to feel so far removed from who I was when I was younger, or just having a good sense of humor and not taking things just too seriously. You know, when you start taking things too seriously, it's just, you can really fall victim to anger and bitterness, you know? And so sometimes I just feel like you really need to keep a good sense of humor, and it keeps you young, it keeps you feeling young, it keeps me feeling young anyways. So that is number 9 for me. So the number 10 thing that I do to try to remain the best version of myself that I can be is I try to always remain grateful. I feel like that is so, so important. When you start overly concerning yourself with what somebody else has and what you don't, or you know, they might have a nicer house or a nicer car or nicer clothes or better handbags, and that's all you're focusing on, you're not giving yourself any room to be grateful and thankful for the things that you do have. And when you sit there and you're alone, you know what, whenever you're trying to go to sleep at night and you can't go to sleep for whatever reason, if you have insomnia, just start thinking about all the things that you're grateful for. You will be so surprised at how quickly it can change your mood around. It just keeps you content with what you do have. And if you want more, then work for it, you know, and figure out ways to get more of the things that you want in your life. But by all means, don't just sit around and compare yourself to other people, because you're gonna end up being your own worst enemy, and you're gonna be the reason why you're not as happy as you should be. So learn how to be grateful. That is what I do. That is probably one of the best things that you can do in order to be, you know, the best version of yourself. Because if you're grateful and you're happy and you put that stuff out into the universe, it's going to come back to you and you're just going to have a better life. So those are 10 of the things that I do in order to improve, delay, or, you know, disguise the aging process. And then of course makeup, you know, we can't possibly live without makeup. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention as far as the hair, I color my hair because I've got silver hair, a lot of it. So that is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed my top 10, or you know, kind of threw in the makeup at the end, so top 11 ways that I try to maintain kind of a youthful appearance, and you know, basically, like I said, just try to be the best version of myself at every age. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear some of the things that you do in order to be the best version of yourself, or to try to remain as youthful as you can for as long as you can. You know, we can all stand to learn from each other. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you next week.